Welcome to Pale Blue Pod, the astronomy podcast for people who are overwhelmed by the universe but want to be its friend.
Oh, hey, that's us. That's me. Hi, I am Dr. Moiya McTier. I'm an astrophysicist, a folklorist, and friend to the universe.
Yes, you are. And I am Corinne Caputo, writer, fun person to be around, friend of the universe.
Yes, you are.
And yeah, I'm thrilled with where we are today. This is one of my favorite places in the world.
Is it really, Corinne?
Well, okay. We are in the Mall of America, and the reason we are is because today we're talking about a huge planet, and Mall of America is one of the largest malls, or if not the largest mall.
I would hope it's the largest mall.
It should be, based
at
on
least
its
in
name.
America.
Yeah, and I feel like the kinds of malls we have in America don't exist outside of America. I have to hope, I think, because I do feel like it could be a curse on a community, but I love malls so much. There's something so fun about them. There was the mall on the Staten Island Mall, which is where I spent a lot of Friday nights as a middle school, high schooler, so there's something very cozy about walking in and out of all the shops.
I'm really excited for an Auntie Anne's pretzel.
Yes.
After we finish this recording,
Yes.
I'm going to get me an Orange Julius and an Auntie Anne's cinnamon pretzel. And this is the trick, Corinne. I get a salted pretzel, but I take the salt off.
Yep.
Because it has the essence of the salt without being too salty.
I've done that. It's also, to me, very satisfying to rub the salt off of a pretzel. Like, there's something really fun about it, especially an Auntie Anne's pretzel, which is like the soft pretzel and the hard salt.
What part of yourself are you rubbing with the pretzel, Corinne?
Oh, my fingers are wiping off the salt.
Okay. Yes, that is a good feeling.
I'm doing something absolutely insane in a public mall.
If you're going to do something like that, a public mall is probably not the worst place to do it. There are all types of weirdos.
There really are.
Yeah.
I have wanted to be, not that these people are weirdos, but I have wanted to be the person who, like, walks around a mall in the mornings to, like, get their steps in.
Just speed walking
Just
through a mall.
any excuse to spend time in the mall.
Great. I love that for you. You're just a modern-day Robin Sparkles.
Yes, exactly. I tried to work in the mall when I was a teenager, and I did not get the job.
Their loss.
Yeah, really. It was a Build-A-Bear. I was like, I can do this, and I can do this well.
You can. You could then. You still can now.
I might go back.
Next episode coming to you from
Build-A-Bear.
Build-A-Bear.
And I'm, like, talking to you between helping kids.
Right. It takes us a long time to record episodes. It's fine. But yes, while we're here in what we hope is America's largest mall, we are going to be talking about what is definitely our solar system's largest planet, which is Jupiter.
Yay! Jupiter.
Yay for Jupiter. What are your thoughts on Jupiter, Corinne? Where does it rank?
Wow.
Where does it sit in your ranking of the planets?
It's up there. I think it probably goes Earth, Mars. I don't know about third place, but then probably Jupiter.
Okay, fourth out of 9.
9, yeah.
You heard it here. Fourth out of 9. That's not bad.
I think I was more interested in, like, Mars or Saturn when I was younger, because Mars was, like, nearby and Saturn had the rings. And I know Jupiter has a lot going on too, but I don't know the fun facts about it beyond the Great Red Spot.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's the Great Red Spot and it's lots of moons. But
Yes.
Saturn also has lots of moons going for it, so they're tied in that way. Yeah. Jupiter is not high up on my list, I don't. Actually, I guess I've never thought about the spots past 1.
Yeah.
Sounds like we have a future episode on our hands.
The definitive ranking.
Yes, definitive. But for now, we are going to be talking about Jupiter, which I know is many people's favorite planet, because people like size. Size matters.
People like
when
size.
it comes to planets.
People do.
People do, and Jupiter's gonna give them lots of size.
Yeah.
So today we're going to definitely talk about Jupiter's impressive girth, and we're going to talk about the Great Red Spot. Thanks for not even reacting to that,
I was
Corinne.
like, yeah.
But first, I want to start by talking about the history of our knowledge of Jupiter. When we did an episode on Pluto, we got to talk about the discovery of Pluto, because there was a moment when we found this planet for the first time. You can't say that about Jupiter, but we can talk about a lot of stuff in Jupiter's past. So the reason we can't define a single moment when we discover Jupiter is because it's visible. It's one of the visible planets that you can see without any sort of telescope. It looks like a bright point of light in the sky. It kind of looks like a star. And in fact, some of the oldest records we have of very early human civilizations talk about their observations of the night sky, and they talk about Jupiter as one of the wandering stars. So the word for planet that we have now is coming to us from the Greeks. Planet meant like wandering star. And they got that from the Babylonians, who talked about fixed versus moving stars. The fixed stars were the very distant ones. They're so far away that they don't appear to move with relation to each other. And then there are the moving or wandering stars. There are 7 of them. It's the moon, the sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Was that 7? That was 7. Yep. We can count, friends. I actually didn't know this until I researched for this episode. I always thought that the Babylonians called those 7 objects wandering stars, but they more often would talk about them as roaming sheep. There was a lot of sheep imagery in their astronomy folklore. Modern astronomers call it Jupiter. That is the name that the International Astronomical Union has given it, and we got that because Rome spread all their influence over the world. And we just like are living with that influence today. But the Romans bit that name from the Greeks, who called it Zeus. Both Jupiter and Zeus are like the kings of the Roman and Greek pantheon, respectively. And the Greeks took it from the Babylonians.
Oh.
They're just stealing shit from the ancient Babylonians. So the ancient Babylonians lived between like 3,000 and 5,000 years ago. They pretty much started astrology as we know it today. They associated the planet Jupiter with their patron god Marduk. And so there is this long history of naming the big planet in the sky after your like the head god in your pantheon, but they didn't call it Marduk. Instead, they called it Nibiru, which was supposedly like the celestial seat of Marduk. And Marduk originally was like a very local god to the Babylonians, but then eventually became one of the most revered and worshipped gods across all of Mesopotamia. So there's a little myth lesson for you.
I love that.
Yeah. The Babylonians were extremely accomplished astronomers. There are some people today who don't like calling them scientists because all of the work they did, all of the measurements they took, they were doing because they interpreted the movements in the sky as messages from their gods or as lessons from their gods. And so they were trying to predict their gods' wills. And so some people today are like, you can't call that science, but they were still doing the measurements. They were still doing the calculations. They were just doing it in a way that fit into their current worldview, which is exactly what we do today as modern scientists. So, whatever.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, I'll get off my soapbox.
Your Nibiru, you mean?
My Nibiru.
Your seat?
I'll get off my celestial seat, yes. So they did really impressive stuff. The Babylonians tracked Jupiter's motion across the sky well enough to predict where it would be ahead of time. They were also able to predict, like, eclipses and stuff like that. But I found this paper from 2016 that said the math that the Babylonians used to do that Jupiter orbit calculation, historians thought that math wasn't invented until the 1400s.
Oh.
And then they found in 2015 or so that the math they were using was more advanced than we originally thought. So this information is coming to us from a series of clay tablets that had cuneiform writing on it. And, you know, these tablets are scattered, and so it's not immediately obvious which ones go together. But he's actually a PhD astronomer, but he now focuses on the history of astronomy and the archaeology of astronomy. His name is Matthew Ossendriver. He's at Humboldt University in Berlin, and he made the connection between a few different clay tablets that showed that the Babylonians were using a type of abstract geometry that we didn't think they were capable of. the geometry is abstract because they were representing the orbit of Jupiter, and they drew it in a trapezoid. Like, they drew a trapezoid to represent this motion. But it wasn't a trapezoid to represent the physical space. Like, the axes that they were using, or like the dimensions that they were interested in, weren't just like space. Mm-hmm. They weren't drawing the orbit of Jupiter. They were tracking the velocity of Jupiter over time. And they drew a trapezoid to represent the velocity change over time, which is abstract.
Yeah.
Like, it's not them just drawing down a shape that they see in the physical world. It's them taking the idea of the shape and putting it and like using it in a new context. Mm-hmm. So they were more advanced than we thought they were, which of course they were. This is why we need to stop saying that big concepts like geometry were invented by one person at like one time.
Right.
People been doing this stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll get off of that Nibiru. So that's the history of early humans observing and tracking Jupiter across the sky. We were only able to study it in more detail once telescopes were invented in the 1500s, the late 1500s, early 1600s. There was a man whose name is very well known, Galileo Galilei.
Famous.
Beautiful name.
One of the best.
I love that name. So Galileo started observing Jupiter in 1609, and he noted in late 1609 and early 1610 that it had 4 bright points of light orbiting it, and he quickly realized that they were moons. We call them today the Galilean moons, and they are Io, Ganymede, Callisto, and Europa. The discovery of these moons further supported the heliocentric revolution, which was well underway. Mm-hmm. But this is like, we can't deny heliocentrism when we see these 4 bodies orbiting Jupiter.
Right, of course not.
That's all I have about the history. I want to talk about characteristics of Jupiter next, but do you have any thoughts or comments?
Well, I just love the naming conventions of the moons and of Jupiter. It's, to me, extremely dramatic, and I love it.
Yes. All of the planets in our solar system have naming conventions for their moons, and I love Jupiter's because all of Jupiter's moons are named after either some descendants, but mostly like lovers of Jupiter and Zeus from mythology.
That's really funny. And they're following him.
So funny. And they're following him. And then we literally sent, I'm going to get to this later, but then we literally sent a spacecraft named after Jupiter's wife to go and spy on him and all of his lovers.
Fun. That's a TV show I want.
The real
Moonwives?
Yes. Oh, perfect. The real moonwives of the solar system. So Jupiter, we now have studied it with lots of telescopes. We have sent telescopes to it. We know a lot about it now. We know that it orbits 5 astronomical units, or about 500 million miles from the sun. That means that it takes Jupiter a little bit more than 12 years to orbit the sun.
Long.
That's long, yeah. I mean, it's not... I actually always assumed that Jupiter's period was longer before I did the math. And yeah, it's 12 years. But that just seems short to me for some reason.
Yeah, you thought it was even longer.
I think I'm just too used to long scales in astronomy. So whenever I see something that's like 10, I'm like, what?
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
That's nothing. So 12 years, but it takes it just about 10 hours to rotate. So a day on Jupiter is 10 hours.
Short.
It's short. Jupiter's
The days
big.
are short and the years are long.
Exactly. But for something that big to rotate every 10 hours
that
means
feels
that it
so
is
fast.
zipping. It's really fast.
Is that why it's got all the swirls going on? It's basically, there's a woman on TikTok who I'll get sometimes who's has this water bottle on this rotating device, and she pours paints on it, and I don't know why I'm watching this, but it's this woman who's just painting water bottles, but everything gets swirly mixed on this fast rotation.
Yeah, yes. I'm glad you're watching those TikTok videos because that's pretty much exactly what happens in Jupiter.
I watch TikTok for science, so...
I don't watch TikTok for science. I watch it for smutty book recommendations.
I'm not on that side of TikTok, but I hope to get there.
You can do it one day. I believe in you, Corinne. So 10 hours, it's zipping around. Its axial tilt is just about 3 degrees, whereas Earth's is 23 degrees. So Jupiter doesn't really have seasons in the way that a more tilted planet would be. It's just sitting upright as it goes around the sun. It does have a pretty circular orbit. Its eccentricity is 0.048, which is a little bit bigger than Earth's, but it's still very small, still almost circular. And when it comes to size, Jupiter is packing. You could fit 1,000 Earths inside Jupiter.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah. Its diameter is about 10 times Earth's diameter. So 10 to the third is 1,000. That's how you go from, like, length to volume is take it to the third power, so 1,000 Earths. But Jupiter is only about 300 times more massive than Earth, which means it's less dense.
Okay,
and
yeah.
You would expect it to be less dense, right? Because it's mostly made of gas. It's a gas giant.
Exactly, yeah.
So it is a gas giant, but most astronomers would agree that it probably still has a solid core. We aren't totally sure. There's a chance that early in the solar system, when the planets were forming, there was just a big concentration of gas that over time collected enough material to turn into Jupiter. But most astronomers follow the core accretion model of planetary formation, which says a little rock forms, either of rock or ice, but a solid chunk forms and then gas accretes onto that solid chunk. So most people think that Jupiter has a solid core. We're waiting to hear back on that, like we're still doing research, which is awesome. But whether it has a core or not, most of Jupiter is hydrogen and helium in different phases based on pressure and temperature as you go to different depths of the planet's atmosphere. So there's the top layer of the atmosphere that some people call the sky, and that has other elements like ammonia and stuff. I'll get to that in a second. But most of it is hydrogen and helium. So right under those top layers, there is a thick layer of liquid hydrogen. The temperature and pressure are high enough to make hydrogen, which is usually a gas, and turn it into its liquid phase, which means Jupiter actually has the biggest ocean in the entire solar system.
Well, we'll have to go there next.
It's not a water ocean, but yeah, let's go to the hydrogen beach.
That's the beach that makes you old.
That's the beach that makes you old?
Yeah, in the movie Old, I'm pretty sure they were on Jupiter for that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so maybe we don't go to the hydrogen beach.
Maybe we don't go. Okay, never mind.
So there is that liquid hydrogen layer, and then underneath that, the density is so high, the density and pressure are so high that electrons gain enough energy to escape from their atoms. So you have a soup of positively charged hydrogen ions and free-floating negatively charged electrons, and that creates a layer of liquid metallic hydrogen. They take a gas and they turn it into a metallic liquid.
Whoa.
The pressures in Jupiter's core are so amazing. So, like, yeah, we talk about it. I said that it is less dense than Earth, but that's only on average. There are definitely parts of it underneath that are more dense. That layer of liquid metallic hydrogen is probably why Jupiter has such a strong magnetic field. It extends out for 2 million miles away from Jupiter, just far, and the field itself is up to 50 times stronger than Earth's. It wavers a little bit as the shape of the field changes. I mentioned the sky above that hydrogen ocean, and it has 3 layers of other elements, and that's where a lot of the cool weather is. So all of those colors, all of those bands, the big red spot, that's mostly in the upper atmosphere.
Okay.
The top cloud is likely made mostly of ammonia ice. The middle layer is likely made of ammonium hydrosulfide crystals. And then the innermost layer is a bit of water ice and vapor.
Sounds cold to me.
Very cold, very windy. Lots of interesting weather is happening there. And this gets at those streams, the bands that you see. So that fast rotation, you are totally right, Corinne, creates long, strong jet streams that separate different molecules and smear them across the sky in bands. And so the alternating colors that you see are like the alternating molecules that are coming up through Jupiter's atmosphere. These storms last a long time. The big red spot has been observed for over 300 years, and it could last another 300. Like, it's there for the long haul. The big red spot is just a giant storm. It's pretty much just a hurricane, and it is more than 2 Earths wide.
Yeah.
One storm. One storm wider than 2 Earths.
I have seen that fact before, and I was very disturbed by it. I'm like, that is so much storm.
Mm-hmm. And yet it is just a little fraction of the planet's surface area.
I think that's what it is. It puts into scale how big Jupiter is. Mm-hmm. And that can feel overwhelming.
That's fair. Jupiter is very big. You are welcome to feel overwhelmed by that if you want, but in a little bit, I'm going to tell you why it's good for us that Jupiter is so big.
Yes, I'm dying to know.
Hey, it's Moiya, and welcome to this episode's mid-break. Did you know the Mall of America has a comedy club inside it? Well, it does. And as our resident funny person, Corinne just went to put her name down for tonight's open mic, so I figured that now would be a pretty good time to give a shout out to our patrons. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast every single month. We could not make this show without you. Or we could, but it would be expensive, and we wouldn't like it as much. Thank you, as always, to our sun-like stars, Sharn Llewellyn, Finn, and Peyton. Your solar mass, your gravitational field is helping to hold us down here at the Pale Blue Pod headquarters? I don't know. So thank you so much. And also thanks to our newest pre-main sequence star, Corey Futrell. Corey, congratulations on collapsing your gas cloud. I'm so proud of you. You too can support us, hear your name on this pod, and make it to our patron star chart, all by supporting us on Patreon for just about $1 per episode. If you do that, you'll get access to research notes for every single episode, plus other perks as you move up in the tiers. You can find our star chart, our Patreon info, and more at our website, palebluepod.com, or just go right to patreon.com/palebluepod. You know you want to support us anyway, just go ahead and do it. But if you can't support us financially, that is totally fine. We still love you. Another really great way to support our show is to share it with your friends. So pick your favorite episode, send it to someone who you think could learn a little bit more about space. Are you looking for a fun, no-pressure way to learn math and science? Check out Brilliant.org. It's the best way to learn math and science interactively online. Brilliant has thousands of lessons in math, science, logic, data analysis, and they're adding new ones each month. Enjoy fun storytelling, guided problem solving, and making lots of mistakes while you learn and play. On Brilliant, your natural curiosity will drive you, not the threat of a test. Brilliant doesn't just teach you facts and formulas, they actually develop your intuition for these subjects through interactive gameplay. So their science courses can help you get a deeper understanding of things that we talk about a lot here, like electricity and magnetism or special relativity. There is an episode coming about that. There has to be. You can also branch out and try out their classes on geometry or foundational logic. Whatever you learn on Brilliant, you will have a fun time doing it. So go to brilliant.org/palebluepod to get a 30-day free trial, and the first 200 people to use our code will get 20% off their first annual subscription. Again, that's brilliant.org/palebluepod for a 30-day free trial, and if you're lucky enough, if you're early enough, 20% off your annual subscription. Just go to the link in this episode's description. I want to recommend a podcast for you from the Multitude Collective, and it is called Join the Party. Join the Party is an actual play podcast with tangible worlds, genre-pushing storytelling, and collaborators who make each other laugh each week. They also make their listeners laugh each week, so thank you. The Dungeon Master, Eric, and the emphatic players, Amanda, Brandon, and Julia, welcome everyone to the table, from longtime TTRPG players to folks who've never touched a role-playing game before. So don't feel intimidated if you aren't familiar with Dungeons & Dragons or other RPGs. Their current campaign is a pirate story set in a homegrown world of plant and bug folk. It's so awesome. I got to talk to Eric about the world building he did for this project on my other podcast, Exolore, and I am so happy that they're doing this world. But if that doesn't sound like something you're interested in, they have 3 other whole seasons that you can check out. You can marathon their completed stories with their camp Pain, a Monster of the Week game set in a weird summer camp, or you can try out Campaign 2 for a modern superhero game or their first campaign for a high fantasy story. So they have something for everyone. And once a month, they release the After Party, where they answer your questions about the show and how the game is actually played. This is how they're bringing everyone to the table, and I love that they're doing this. So what are you waiting for? Pull up a chair and join the party. Search for Join the Party in your favorite podcast app or go to jointhepartypod.com. New episodes come out every Tuesday. We have found at least 92 moons orbiting Jupiter.
Oh, wow.
So many.
I did not know it was that high.
It's really high. It's now, we found 12 new ones in February of this year, in February of 2023, and that officially bumped it up to having the most moons that we've discovered in any planet of the solar system.
Whoa. That's
Yay.
So many moons.
That's a lot
I'm
of
thinking
moons.
of them like children. I don't know why, but I'm like, I could never keep track of all that.
Well, I mean, it's 92 moons, and when you think about the fact that most of them are named after lovers from mythology of this one character, it's like, he was a hoe.
Yeah.
Zeus was a straight up hoe. Not even a straight hoe. Like, there are stories. There are stories of Zeus with male lovers, which is fantastic.
Well, I feel like you're gonna, you have to be, I think, if you're that, eager to be dating new people. There's only so many people.
Can confirm. Also, I think I don't understand why anyone would be just straight or just gay. It's like never made sense to me.
I say this all the time. I have turned to my husband and I'm like, and you're sure that none of you is a little bit queer? And he's like,
right.
No. And I'm like, I just can't relate to this. I just don't understand this.
Mm-mm. So, I don't understand it on human scales. When you get to be, an immortal god, then I think you definitely can't be straight.
No, there's no way.
If you're around for that long?
If you're around forever,
yeah,
I feel like you don't have, even when it comes to food, you have to, you can't have a preference anymore. My brain, if I'm mapping my brain onto this, I get so bored. I get so bored so fast. There's no way that I would keep doing the same thing or the same person.
Facts.
I say this as a married person. I say this as a married monogamous person, but
you're also not going to live for thousands of years.
That's so true.
It's fine.
I have thought about it, and I've decided not to.
We're going to talk about Jupiter and his lovers later. But I did promise to tell you that Jupiter is good for our survival. So there are many astronomers who say that a Jupiter-like planet, by which I mean a very massive planet orbiting the right distance from its host star, is a necessary neighbor for a habitable planet closer in to the star. So there are a lot of people who say that Earth wouldn't be a habitable planet without Jupiter's gravitational influence. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is that Jupiter most likely diverts a lot of comets and asteroids that would otherwise hit Earth, especially early on in the solar system when there was just a lot more stuff flying around. But there is a flip side to this, which is that occasionally Jupiter may also send comets to us with its gravity, but that's not a very common thing, especially at this point in the solar system's history. So we know that Jupiter and its gravity affect our orbit here at Earth. It makes our eccentricity vary slightly over time. So sometimes our orbit is more circular, sometimes it's less, and that's thanks to Jupiter's influence. And there are some studies that imply that the asteroid belt could have been turned into its own planet or maybe even merged with Mars if not for Jupiter's gravity. I remember hearing conversations by people who model solar system formation or star system formation, and in pretty much all of their models, Mars is supposed to be bigger than it is. Because if you look at the size of the planets, it's increasing.
Yeah.
Venus is bigger than Mercury, Earth is bigger than Venus. Mars should be bigger than Earth, but it's just about half the size.
Right.
And if you took all the asteroid belt components and you put them with Mars, it would follow those models. And so some people think that Jupiter prevented that asteroid belt material from joining with Mars or making its own planet.
That's a cock block.
Yes. A rock block.
I paused to be like, should I say this on the pod?
You can say whatever the fuck you want, Corinne.
I can say whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
Do you watch I Think You Should Leave on Netflix?
No, but maybe
Oh my God,
I will.
Moiya, it's my favorite show ever.
Oh my God, I have to watch it.
It's not for everybody. It's not for everyone. But I quote it all the time.
Well, you and I have pretty similar taste,
I know. It's a sketch show starring
Hell yeah.
Tim Robinson from SNL fame. And he also was in Detroiters, which is also so funny. Anyway, season 3, ended this month. Let's go.
Let's do it. Jupiter cock blocking. It's rock blocking the inner solar
Rock
system.
blocking is perfect.
So thank you, Jupiter, but also sometimes fuck you. You know?
Absolutely.
We have sent a lot of missions to go study Jupiter. Some of them just passed by Jupiter on their way to other things that they were studying, but we have also sent some specifically to that system. So the first spacecraft, the first telescopes that we sent out into the solar system that ended up studying Jupiter were the Pioneer spacecraft. There was Pioneer 10 and Pioneer 11. They launched in 1972 and 1973. So these Pioneer spacecraft made the first flybys of Jupiter, and they revealed the first close-up images. They gave us info about Jupiter's magnetic field, and they gave us, which is important, images of the poles. Because Jupiter doesn't have much of an axial tilt, it's not easy for us to see its north and south poles.
Right.
So the Pioneer spacecraft gave us that view for the first time. The next one was Galileo, appropriately named, and this one actually it was meant to go to Jupiter. So it launched in 1989 and it reached Jupiter in 1995. It was the first spacecraft to orbit Jupiter. So it actually orbited in and out of the Jovian system. And it revealed the structure of Jupiter's magnetic field as it was orbiting. It got to map the magnetic field lines, and it showed us these intense radiation belts around Jupiter, which is pretty cool, and gave us detailed maps of Jupiter's major moons, like the Galilean moons, and it did so much. I keep saying and it hinted at a possible ocean underneath the surface of Europa, which we are now taking advantage of because we think it might be a good place for life to form elsewhere in the solar system. So thank you, Galileo.
Yeah.
In 2003, Galileo self-destructed by careening into Jupiter's atmosphere, much like the Cassini spacecraft careened into Saturn to end its life. And that is because we don't want to leave as much junk out in the outer solar system as we have in our near-Earth orbit. There's a lot of junk here. We did a whole episode about it, and we don't want to do that to the rest of the solar system.
Yeah, that's nice of us. It's like going to a friend's house and behaving better than you do at your own house.
That's exactly what it is. Except if when you went to your friend's house, you did a nosedive down their basement steps or something.
So I've been very good, and now it's time to jump into the basement.
Jump into the basement so I never do anything bad again.
Yep.
That's Galileo. And then we launched Juno. I love the Juno mission. It's so messy. It's so messy of us to name this spacecraft after Jupiter's wife and then send her to go spy on him and all of his lovers.
That is one of the funniest things I've heard. I did not know that was the dynamic, and I really love that. Also, Juno was my favorite movie for a while. So this is amazing.
Juno launched in 2001 and it reached Jupiter in 2016. So it took its time. It was supposed to last 5 years, but the mission was extended to 2025 because it's still giving us good data because the wife is going to make sure that she collects all those receipts.
She's going to be thorough. Exactly.
Yeah. She doesn't want to give Jupiter the chance to pull a Shaggy and say it wasn't me. Because she's watching. She is watching them bang on that bathroom floor.
I feel like that's a movie too where it's you know what? I'm not doing a PI. I'm going to go out there myself and get the real information.
I got to see it with my own eyes. That's what Juno said.
Yeah, exactly.
Juno. I love that I just made a Shaggy reference when talking about the Juno spacecraft. Juno was meant to study Jupiter's atmosphere and solve the mysteries of its weather. So tell us, finally, what is the Great Red Spot and why are there all these bands across Jupiter? And it did that. It revealed different types of cyclones. It revealed that the storms actually go deeper into Jupiter's atmosphere than we thought it did. It saw different types of lightning happening throughout Jupiter's atmosphere, and one of this type of lightning forms in the upper atmosphere of Jupiter, where it is too cold for water to form, and that's where our lightning comes from here on Earth. But instead, that type of lightning on Jupiter happens when ice crystals collide with ammonia molecules, and you get this just like special type of lightning.
Whoa,
very cool. So that's Juno. Thank you so much for your ongoing service.
Thank you, Juno.
I appreciate it. Thank you. The next mission coming up to study Jupiter is the Jupiter Icy Moon Explorer, and astronomers have mangled together an acronym, JUICE.
From Jupiter, Icy Moon, and the E in Explorer?
Yeah. You get nothing from the moons, but JUICE.
I see it.
JUICE launched just last month. The European Space Agency launched JUICE in April of 2023 to study the big moons in the Jovian system. So it's studying Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, which are 3 of the Galilean moons.
I love Callisto as a name. I don't think it should be I don't know if it's a person's name, but I love it as a word.
It's, in mythology, it's a person's name. And I'm sure that there are people today named Callisto.
Yeah.
There must be.
I feel like it could be a jerk name, like a rude person's name, or like we see a character named Callisto in like, I don't know, the White Lotus or something. But I love it.
Every time I hear the name Callisto, I think of the character from Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh my god, I haven't thought of that show in so long.
Oh, so good. But Callisto is kind of a bitch and is like, she's Xena's arch nemesis in the show. So that's what so when you said a mean person, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
She is. And then there will eventually be a mission called the Europa Clipper, which will go to the moon Europa and hopefully tell us if there is a liquid water ocean underneath the icy surface that could potentially have life in it. But that is not going to launch for a while.
Fair.
That's how we're studying Jupiter. That's how we expect to learn more about it in the future. And now I would like to do a little bit with the moons, with the Galilean moons, because I want to play a game with you, Corinne, where, because I said that all of the moons of Jupiter are named after descendants or lovers of the god, I want to tell you the love story or the myth and have you guess the moon. And if you don't get it on the first try, I have an extra piece of information. I can give you the moon's superlative, so like what is its reputation as a moon, and hopefully with the 2 of those you'll be able to guess.
Okay, let's see. Good luck to me.
Good luck to you. I'm sure you're gonna do great. Oh, I'm so excited.
It's like an evil laugh.
It's not evil because I'm trying to do anything mean to you. It is evil because I made this podcast with the express purpose of not talking about all of my folklore obsessions, and here we are. I'm gonna find a way to work it into whatever I do.
Of course.
Right. So here's the first moon. Remember that the moons, the Galilean moons, are in alphabetical order: Callisto, Europa, Ganymede, and Io.
Okay.
This first love story is about a nymph/princess who was beloved by Zeus, but they were caught in their affair by Zeus's wife, Hera. Hera is the Greek counterpart to Juno. Zeus quickly turned the woman into a white cow as Hera was approaching, but Hera called his bluff and demanded that he give her the cow as a gift.
I love that move. I love that move.
Like, oh, I know what you're doing. Give me your mistress as a present.
Oh, if it's just a regular cow, I'll take it as a gift.
It's a cow. Cows were usually considered sacred, especially like white cows were usually considered sacred to Hera. And so she was like, oh, a white cow? That's for me. Give it to me. She set Argos, who was a 100-eyed giant. His full name is like Argos Panopticon, Argos the All-Seeing.
Whoa.
He has 100 eyes.
Too many.
He was said to like never sleep. It was like one of them was always supposed to be open, and she set this giant to watch after her cow. But Zeus then sent Hermes, the messenger god, to kill Argos through some trick, because Hermes was also a trickster. And then, in return, Hera cursed the cow to be chased around the globe by a gadfly who was biting its haunches. And so the cow ran across the world. I think she eventually ended up in Egypt or something, where Zeus turns her back into her true form just in time for her to deliver their son.
Wait, was she a pregnant cow?
I think she was a pregnant cow.
Whoa.
Being chased by a fly.
That's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel really bad for her.
Yeah, me too. I don't like that. Okay. I don't think it's Europa. I don't know. I'm stuck on like the nymph princess. I want to say it's Callisto, and I know we were just talking about her. But I feel like that's a princess name.
Okay. It is not Callisto.
No!
I will now tell you that this moon is the most volcanically active moon in the solar system.
Io?
It's Io!
It's Io!
Io, the white cow.
I knew that about Io. I forgot about that. Io, the white cow.
Yeah. I figured that you would know it once I told you the superlative, which is why I wanted to leave it until after your first guess.
Fair. Ooh, why? Were they like randomly assigning names to the moons, or did they pick Io for the volcanic moon for a reason?
I mean, Galileo named them, I think, and so he
Yeah.
wouldn't have known about the volcanic activity.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I think they were just
Fair.
like, Io, this is one of the more popular stories about Zeus's conquests or trysts, and so they were probably just pulling from the more popular ones.
Fair.
Good job, Corinne.
Thank you.
Okay, that's number one. This is number two. This young Trojan prince was carried away to Olympus by Zeus in the form of an eagle and made to be Zeus's special cupbearer. He was rewarded for his service by being turned into the constellation Aquarius, and I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, this dude's a queer icon. Gotta be.
Yeah. If he's an Aquarius, for sure. I have no idea. Okay. Ganymede?
Yeah.
Yay!
Ganymede. Ganymede is also, the superlative is that it is the most magnetic moon. This is the only moon in the solar system that we have found with its own magnetic field.
Whoa. Wow. Jupiter's moons, I mean, I guess when you have that many moons, you're going to have something. One of everything.
There's going to be cool stuff happening.
There's
going to
be one for life, for an ocean, for volcanoes.
For life.
Yeah.
One for life. The most alive moon. Good job again.
Yay!
Yeah, I love Ganymede. I remember the first time that I heard this story and I was like, oh, Zeus got down like that? Okay. I mean, I don't love that he just carried him off. Just like scooped him up in his godly eagle claws, but still, I love when there's gay sex in mythology. It makes me really happy.
There should be. And there should be more in our modern day storytelling.
Agreed. We can all take a lesson from the story of Ganymede. And it's not even they didn't make a big deal out of it. It was just like, oh yeah, like of course he's pretty. I'm gonna
right. Well,
fuck him.
It hadn't been decided as it's a moral failure.
Mm-hmm. They had very different views.
Yeah.
Back then. Number 3. This mortal princess was known for her beauty, so Zeus decided to disguise himself as yet another white cow and snatch her away. So she was, I guess, lounging with her attendants or whatever, and Zeus, in the form of a white cow, just walks up to her and lays down, kind of like enticing her to get on his back, and when she does, he carries her across an ocean to Crete, where he then turns back into his human form, and she's like, oh my god, my lord, Zeus, and then they fuck, and they produce 3 sons together. And then Zeus returns to Mount Olympus, and this mortal princess marries the king of Crete. He raises Zeus's kids as his own, and one of those kids is King Minos. I'll say that. I'm trying to figure out what I can say without giving away her name. So her grandson is the Minotaur, pretty much, is what I'm trying to say.
I think this is Europa.
It's Europa!
Yay! Wow. When I was, a few years ago, pre-COVID, I was nannying in New York, and the kid I nannied was obsessed with mythology.
And then this is, I guess, the most organic, lifelike moon. This is the moon that we think might have life under its icy surface in the swirl of organic materials that exists in that liquid water ocean. Number 4, I mean, you know the answer, so whatever.
But I want to hear the story.
But now you get to hear the story. This princess eschewed the palace lifestyle and hunted with Artemis as one of her companions. And because she was one of Artemis's huntresses, she was sworn to uphold her virginity. And that wording is interesting because there's a difference in olden times between a vow of virginity versus a vow of chastity versus a vow of celibacy, right? So I think back then, if you swore to be a virgin, you couldn't get married and you couldn't have kids, but I think you could still have sex.
Okay.
But
interesting.
But maybe not. Like those lines are blurry.
Blurry, sure.
But she still has this vow where she definitely is not allowed to get married or be pregnant. Of course, Zeus takes a liking to her and seduces her, and he's Zeus, so the union results in a child. And one day while she's bathing with Artemis and the other huntresses, it is revealed that she is with child. So she is turned into a bear. Some stories say that Hera turned her into a bear for sleeping with Zeus. Others say that Artemis turned her into a bear for breaking her virginity vow. But either way, she was turned into a bear and she was hunted? By the very huntresses that she worked with and for. She was killed. Her baby was killed. But in classic Greek fashion, she was immortalized as the constellation Ursa Major.
One of the best ones.
One of the best ones. Who's that, Corinne?
That was Callisto.
That's Callisto.
Well, yeah, she's mean. She's pissed.
She's been through some shit. Yeah. Callisto doesn't really have a superlative, and you might remember Callisto's claim to fame is that a lot of people call it the ugly duckling moon. Because it doesn't have, of the Galilean moons, it doesn't really have other strong features. It kind of just looks like a chunk of rock. And
it looks a lot like our moon.
Yeah. And we don't call our moon an ugly duckling.
No.
So we're just even in death, Callisto is getting the short end of the stick. But you did it. You got them all 4. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm thrilled. Actually, what was the superlative for Europa? Maybe I missed it.
Oh, it's just like I'll say the wettest moon.
The wettest moon, fair.
Because it has that liquid water ocean, we think. Underneath.
We think. We'll find out.
We're pretty sure. We'll find out. The Europa Clipper mission, we'll figure it out in the next decade or so.
Maybe we'll still be podcasting then. And we'll report the breaking news on that.
It would be episode 500.
5 million.
Yes. Look, I'm here. I'm here for it. If people want to listen to 500 episodes of Pale Blue Pod, more power to them. Yeah. And to us.
And to us. Well, that was so fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think after all of that, I definitely need to rub some Auntie Anne's pretzels.
Yeah, I'm going to need to dip them in something and walk around. Just to get our steps in. Yeah, exactly.
But no matter what your mall food of choice is, remember, you are space. Pale Blue Pod was created by Moiya McTier and Corinne Caputo with help from the Multitude Productions team. Our theme music is by Evan Johnston and our cover art is by Shay McMullen. Our audio editing is handled by the incomparable Misha Stanton.
Stay in touch with us and the universe by following @PaleBluePod on Twitter and Instagram, or check out our website, palebluepod.com. We're a member of Multitude, an independent podcast collective and production studio. If you like Pale Blue Pod, you will love the other shows that live on our website at multitude.productions.
If you want to support Pale Blue Pod financially, join our community over at patreon.com/palebluepod. For just about $1 per episode, you get a shout out on one of our shows and access to director's commentary for each episode. The very best way, though, to help Pale Blue Pod grow is to share it with your friends. So send this episode, this link, to one person who you think will like it, and we will appreciate you for forever.
Thanks for listening to Pale Blue Pod. You'll hear us again next week.
Bye.